There is a coin that's currently worth thousands of US dollars. It's not made of gold or platinum or any precious metal. In fact, it's not the kind of coin you can hold in your hand or stick in a piggy bank. I'm referring to a digital currency. Maybe you've heard of it. I'm talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't operate like traditional fiat money. It isn't attached to a bank or a government. There is no centralized authority. That means there's no singular organization in control of Bitcoin. It is a decentralized currency that operates across political boundaries and is not restrained by fallible individuals. How does Bitcoin work as a currency or have any value at all, you might think? Bitcoin wouldn't exist without a network of people and a little thing called cryptography. It is the world's first cryptocurrency, and here's how it works. Bitcoin is a form of value exchange across a decentralized peer-to-peer network. What's being exchanged is data. If Bitcoin is a digital currency on a peer-to-peer network, what's stopping someone from making a bunch of counterfeit copies? Well, unlike an MP3 or a video file, a Bitcoin cannot be replicated or double spent, and there is only a finite amount available. A Bitcoin is a transaction on a huge global ledger called the blockchain. The blockchain records every Bitcoin transaction that has ever happened. As of early 2018, the complete ledger is over 149 gigabytes of data and growing. When you send someone Bitcoins, it's not like sending a bunch of files. Instead, you're sending a unique signature that is encoded onto a block. That block is verified as an honest transaction by the rest of the blockchain, creating a successful transfer of value. The blockchain takes the place of a central authority and ensures honest verification of every transaction. There is no official group of people who update the ledger and keep track of everybody's money. It is decentralized. Anybody can volunteer to keep the blockchain up to date, and a ton of people do. It all works because there are lots of people keeping track of the same thing, ensuring all transactions are accurate. Imagine you're playing a game of poker, but nobody has poker chips and there's no money on the table. Instead, a few players take out notebooks and start writing every transaction occurring on the table. There's no trust between any of the players, and everyone keeps their ledgers separately. At the end of every hand, everyone compares what they've written down. That way, if someone makes a mistake or tries to cheat, the discrepancy is caught. Think of each page in these poker notebooks as blocks of transactions. Eventually, each notebook will have pages and pages of information like blockchain. Sticking with our poker analogy, think of the entire Bitcoin peer-to-peer network as a huge poker table with millions of people. Many are exchanging money, but some are keeping ledgers. When you want to send or receive money, you have to announce it to everyone at the table. This allows the people keeping track to update their ledgers. For every transaction, you need to present 3 things to the Bitcoin network. 1, your wallet address. 2, the wallet address of the person you're sending Bitcoins to. And 3, how many Bitcoins you want to send. All of the users who are keeping copies of the blockchain will add your transaction to the current block. So what's stopping someone from tending their me and just sending themselves all of my Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoins are kept secure thanks to cryptography, which is why it's considered a cryptocurrency. Specifically, Bitcoin stays secure because of keys, which are chunks of information that can be used to make mathematical guarantees about messages. When you create a wallet, the account is linked with 2 unique keys, a private key and a public key. The private key can take data and mark it. Think of it like a signature. This allows for verification of the transaction. Let's say I want to send a message to the network that says Michael sends 3 Bitcoins to Olivia. I sign that message using my private key, which only I have access to and nobody else can replicate. Then I send that signed message out to the Bitcoin network, and everyone can use my public key to make sure my signature checks out. In this way, everyone keeping track of the blockchain knows how to add my transaction to the ledger. If the public key works, that's proof that the message was signed by my private key and is something I wanted to send. Unlike a handwritten signature or a credit card number, this proof of identity isn't something that can be faked. Bitcoin also implements a time signature on every transaction. This prevents double spending and dishonest trades. The blockchain only verifies the first transaction to take place. If I only have enough money to pay Olivia or Hank, but I try to pay them both, the blockchain will only verify the first transaction I made. Both the Bitcoin network and wallet automatically check previous transactions to make sure wallets have enough Bitcoins to send in the first place. With the blockchain being as large as it is, network delays are inevitable. This means that all ledgers will not receive the transaction requests in the same order. Okay, Bitcoin, how do you solve that problem? It turns out it's by solving mathematical equations. To add a block of transactions to the chain, each person maintaining a ledger has to solve a special kind of math problem created by a cryptographic hash function. A hash function is an algorithm that takes an input of any size and turns it into an output with a fixed size. Let's say you have a string of numbers as your input, and the hash function says to add all the numbers together. In this example, the output is 10. What makes hash functions good for cryptography is that when an input is given, it's easy to find the output. However, it's difficult to take an output and decipher the original input. Even in this example, there are many variations of numbers that add up to 10. The only way to figure out the correct input was 1, 2, 3, 4 is to guess until you find the right answer. The hash function that Bitcoin uses is called SHA-256, which stands for Secure Hash Algorithm 256-bit. It was originally developed by the United States National Security Agency. Computers specifically designed to solve SHA-256 hash problems take, on average, about 10 minutes to guess the solution to each one. They're churning through billions and billions of guesses before they get it right. The first one to solve the hash adds the next block of transactions to the blockchain. This in turn generates a new math problem that needs to be solved. If multiple people make blocks at roughly the same time, the network picks one to keep building upon, which becomes the longest and most trusted chain. Any transactions in alternate branches get put back into a pool to be added on to later blocks. Volunteers running these computers spend thousands of dollars on special hardware built to solve SHA-256 problems. They're investing in massive amounts of electricity to keep the machines running. Why? What do they get out of maintaining the blockchain? Well, Bitcoin has a built-in system of reward. Every time you win the race and add a block to the blockchain, 12.5 new Bitcoins are created and awarded to your account. You might know Bitcoin ledger keepers by another name, miners. That's because keeping the blockchain updated is like swinging a proverbial pickaxe at those hash problems, hoping to strike it rich. When Bitcoins were first created in 2009, they didn't have any perceived value. Tens of Bitcoins would have been worth the same as a bunch of pennies. As of January 2018, one Bitcoin is worth over 15,000 US dollars. Every 12.5 Bitcoins mined are now worth over $187,500. Every single Bitcoin that exists was created to reward a Bitcoin miner. Miners are also tipped a small amount for each transaction they add to the ledger. It's worth noting that every 210,000 blocks mined, the number of coins generated goes down by half. What started as a reward of 50 Bitcoins decreased to 25, then 12.5, and it'll only be around 6 Bitcoin in a couple more years. Eventually, there'll be so many transactions in a block that it'll still be worthwhile for miners to mostly be paid in tips, called transaction fees. According to current projections, the last Bitcoin, the 21 millionth coin, will be mined in the year 2140. The decreasing number of Bitcoins is modeled off the rate at which things like gold are dug out of the earth. It creates a deflationary currency whose value increases over time. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency in the marketplace. It has taken the world by storm and proven what the future of finance will look like. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, be sure to click the circular image in the upper right-hand corner of the screen and tick the bell icon to get notified whenever we release more new videos to help you increase your income. Go ahead and check out some additional money-making videos right now on the left side of the screen. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.